Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, if you're returning, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about the song The Nearness of You, which is a jazz standard. I performed it recently on the channel. And I'm going to go through the video, the performance, and talk about 5 things, maybe 6 or 7 things that were interesting about that performance, and get into the musical discussion a little bit about this song. So yeah, stick around and we'll get into it. It's a beautiful song. I had a lot of fun performing it, and let's see what we can talk about. So you'll hear in the beginning that I start off what's called rubato, which is just a musical term that means out of time. So there's no time signature. And I'm really milking that. I'm really taking advantage of that. So I sort of move around in different inversions. And I hold things like see how I held that out? And I wait to resolve. So when you're in rubato, you can really take advantage of space, which is something I think I did pretty well here. A lot of people, when they do rubato, do a lot of just like playing sort of long runs. You can do a run up and down the keyboard. I don't know a whole lot of those, like specific licks and runs. I'd like to get more into my vocabulary. So, but I do a little bit of that, but I don't think I did a whole lot of that in this rubato section. So that's an option, but you definitely don't want to overdo that. So yeah, that was my first point, that rubato section I just wanted to talk about. Definitely a good time to take advantage of space and make things slow and sensual and emotional. The second point I want to talk about is not playing just the bass notes. A lot of these things I'm talking about are maybe aimed at beginners moving more towards intermediate, but yeah, not playing just the bass notes. So even right there when I started, I drop in from the 5. I think I did something in the recording like that's not really moving the bass note, but it's inner motion in the chord. Right there, that to get to the G, you know, I still play the bass notes because it's solo piano, and you want to, in solo piano, definitely hit the bass notes. You don't have to hit it 24/7. You know, if I have a chord that's in a certain inversion, like if I have a C minor here, or let's do a G minor. say I have this G minor 7 in second inversion, just anywhere, I don't know. I might just keep it there and not play the bass note. I have the option to, but I don't always have to. So you don't play the bass note 100% of the time, but when you do play bass notes, you can slide into it, right? Slide in from other notes. Just include other notes besides just the bass notes to make it more interesting. See how I include little snippets of other notes? There's different subdivisions. So make the bass notes more interesting. That's the second point. And I think I did that in this recording. I usually do that. Habitually, so in my playing. The third thing I want to talk about here is, I'm going to call it making a meal out of the melody. And by that I mean just really take your time, make the melody, play it with sensitivity and care. You know? I'm not sure if I'm demonstrating the point exactly how I want, but I was playing in rubato there, but just focusing on how you can really draw out the melody, because I guess I'm talking about for when you're playing a ballad. Sorry, I should have said that, but this tune is a ballad. It's slow. You want to take your time. You know, it's not like you're making runs, and it's not up-tempo or fast. You have time, so use it and be sensitive. So when I play this song, I really get into that melody, and I really enjoy the melody a lot. So just make it a big deal. Focus on the melody. It's I feel kind of silly saying it, but I read that, in my research for this about what to do on ballads, and yeah, really focus on the melody, draw it out, make it beautiful. Okay, I want to talk about the solo section a little bit of this recording. Now you might notice that I'm doing quarter notes comping in the in the left hand. Well, sometimes I play the chords with both hands, but my comping is quarter notes. But I have the pedal going throughout the chorus. And right when I go into the verses, I I started comping like that. So I completely dropped the pedal. I just dropped the pedal completely, and I started making the chords more staccato. Not like ridiculous, but not like, I don't know, super exaggerated. But by doing that, I completely changed the feeling of sorry. When you have the pedal like I'm doing now, everything is long and drawn out. I mean, it's called a sustain pedal, so everything kind of washes together. But when I drop the sustain pedal on the solo, it's like it opens up. It's sort of like when a drummer on a jazz tune will go from like he'll be playing on the hi-hat during the chorus and then or during one solo, and then maybe the next solo he switches to the ride cymbal and everything changes because it's a new sound. Even if he's playing like the same rhythm, it's totally a different timbre. So that's like what I did here, and I really like that. I didn't plan that, you know, this is like improvisation, but the fact that I did it right as I went into the solo, it signals that there's a new section happening and there's a change. And I really like how that worked out, and it made the solo really come alive, so that was good. I'm on my 5th point here. I might go into points 6 and 7 and then wrap up the video. I know I said 5 things, maybe 6 or 7 at the beginning, so I did warn you. But another advantage here of these of doing the quarter notes in the comping is that it allowed me to focus on my solo line. So it doesn't have to be quarter notes, but there's a Red Garland, the pianist Red Garland does this thing sometimes where he'll pick one rhythm, like say like 1 and the end of 2, so not the greatest for a ballad, but just his left hand, obviously. So he might do that rhythm throughout the whole solo. So doing those quarter notes, so or whatever, the Red Garland thing of picking one rhythm and sticking with it all throughout the solo allows you to focus on the right hand without having to worry about the left hand doing like more complicated rhythms like that. You're literally just focused on the right hand. But yeah, it's a good thing to try. Just pick a rhythm and stick with it for your solo. And it's also a piano technique we can use, just another trick in our bag. So that's a pretty cool thing. I want to talk about something that happens 4.5 minutes in. So I'm going to skip to that. And basically it's that I use this area down here of the keyboard. I basically did something like so I started like most of the time my comping was in this range. But when you go down to this lower part of the keyboard, it can give you a really big feeling. you can't play the whole chord down there, but you can break it up. So that's what I did. So just hitting those bass notes down in the really bassy first, second octave rather than the third octave area, those down there can really give it this big sound, and instead of staying around here the whole time. Just that one little bass hit. Yeah, I think that can give it a really big sound. So that's another technique to do for sure. Try breaking up your chords with the bass note there. The last thing I want to talk about is sort of something that happened spontaneously while I was recording this. You know, jazz is a spontaneous art. But basically, when I'm going back to the head of the tune, I did something like... I came up with these hits, like specific... It was just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. But I like that. I don't know where I got the idea. Again, it's just spontaneous while I was playing, but it was a very interesting moment. It was, let me look here. It was 4 minutes and 9 seconds in, but... It's so interesting because it just gave the sound the right kind of flavor. It was just a very interesting moment. And when you're doing the quarter notes so often, sorry. Anyways, my point is it just added this, after hearing all those quarter notes and then throwing in this new rhythm which plays on the offbeat, it just added the right variety at the right moment, and it didn't stay there for long, so it was just this neat little moment that I wanted to highlight. If you're still here, thank you for making it to the end of the video. I hope you gained some valuable insight or learned something interesting in this tutorial walkthrough where I kind of just talk about different musical aspects of the performance, and yeah, I really hope you got something out of it. Feel free to explore the channel. I have a few other tutorials and videos where I talk about music, as well as a bunch of performance videos of mostly solo piano. So yeah, check that out if you can. And so thank you again for sticking around to the end of the video, and I just really appreciate it. So be well, take care.